everyone, Lisa here from Forest City Stitching. I hope everyone had a good week. I actually have lots of stitching to show you. So it's been a very productive first few days of 2021. Yes, I hope everyone had a good New Year's. Ours was obviously very quiet. I was able to get on to a Zoom call that Stacy and One Stitcher was having. So thank you, Stacy, for holding that. And yeah, so had to this week I worked 2.5 days. Yeah, 2.5 days of work. Did a little bit of work last Monday for payroll as well while I was home. And then back to full-time regular work again on Monday. School is out for another week, so we're rearranging our schedule to make that work and should know what online schooling looks like for this week sometime tomorrow. I guess the teachers still have to have a meeting about that because nothing could be planned ahead of time, but whatever. So we'll see what that looks like, and hopefully we won't be having to juggle too much for too long, as well as way as schedules go, just because it's just very stressful with us having to be at home to do homeschooling when both of us work outside of the home. So on that note, I don't really want to harp on it, but I just want to make mention that I know everyone's doing the best that they can during this time, and although some people might not agree with other people's decisions, do keep in mind that everyone is trying to make the right decision or the best decision for their family and their circumstance. So just be mindful of any comments that might be brought up in regards to what someone chooses to do during this time. That no, it's not necessarily an easy decision for anyone, especially parents deciding either to keep their kids home or send them to school. So that's all I'm going to say about that. But just be kind. On that note, I know that's how Witchy Stitchers end their floss tubes, and I want to say hi to Charlene and Morgan. They gave me a shout out probably about 3 weeks ago now. I'm sorry, as I said, I'm getting caught up on all my floss tubes, and I wanted to acknowledge that kind shout out. Thank you very much. If you haven't, definitely check them out. And Morgan's doing a little bit of fabric dyeing as well. So when she has new fabric, she mentions that on her Flosstube, as well as on their Instagram page as well. So it might be a good resource if you're looking for some fabric. I know here in Canada, well, at least at my Michael's, any fabric is hard to find, and right now with the lockdown, can't even go in to look. So so I have taken her up on a fabric request I put into her. So she's helping me out with some colorful fabric that I'll show to you when it arrives. So so definitely check them out. Want to thank all my subscribers. Greatly appreciate your support. And again, just looking forward to 2021. Don't really have any haul, so that's good. I did take advantage of the Stitching with the Housewives 20% off sale on New Year's Day, so I did order some charts from them. So that kind of dung my Stitch from Stash budget pretty quickly, but I have some plans to get some finishing done, so hopefully it won't be too bad in the long run. All right, so I don't really have a particular order, I don't think, for any of this. So I'm just going to grab, and then we'll talk about it as we go. All right, So the first thing isn't cross stitch related, but it's embroidery. So I noticed on, maybe it was like snarky cross stitch group. I don't remember. It was on a Facebook group, popped up, 365 days of stitches. And basically it was a large embroidery hoop with just stitches on it from each day. So I thought I would give that a try. So this is my start. Obviously my carried threads, but whatever. So that's my start. So my goal is to stitch on something each day, or to represent a day, but put something onto this each day, right? Because we're on the 3rd, yes. Okay, like now I'm all confused on what day. So hopefully you can see that. But so day 1, I did the 2020. It'll be better, kind of. Okay, hopefully next week's lighting will be better. So 2021 was the first day's stitching, and so that I'm also trying to use orts as well. So that was actually from a piece of floss that was taken out of pandemic when I was redoing the color of one of the birds, which we'll talk about. And then that black stitching, so I just did a satin stitch on that, and it is supposed to be a silhouette of Elvis's hair. So you might be like, well, why did you stitch that? My great aunt, she passed away January 1st, and so she was a big Elvis fan, so I stitched that in honor of her. And then I think you can kind of see the sparkles, but then I put the kreinik around the 2021 kind of as like fireworks. So I did that today. I was using kreinik. You'll see I have shimmer back out. So I had some leftover pieces from that. So yeah. It really looks like fireworks when you see my carried threads, but yeah. So, yeah, so every day I'm going to hopefully put in a stitch or two. Well, put in something to represent the day, or, you know, maybe if I learn a new stitch, I'll put in something like that. I don't know. Just kind of, I don't know how big they are. Right? It could be, some things could be much littler, like a smaller item for the day. But yeah, so that's what the thought is. Yeah, I might let Jack pick a thing or two that he thinks I should stitch. So we'll see as that progresses. And then, so on the yearly topic, I started this on New Year's Eve. Oh, there was one other thing. Well, I'm not going to grab it. I'll show you next week. All right, I decided to join the Purple Peppermint Blackwork style. So this is on their Facebook page. I think the first pattern will be announced next Wednesday, I believe. So this is my start on the outline and on the border. So week 1 will go here. I am looking at doing it like a temperature tree. Or not a temperature tree, just like a temperature chart. And in doing so, I'm going to do like a high and low temperature for the week, because I think I can split it up on two different colors for the black work, looking at what people done in the past. So that's what my thought is for that. And I'll use the same color combinations as I did for my temperature tree. So that's all in this bag, and I need to finish my temperature tree. I actually finished today writing down all the high and low temperatures from the year, so I can maybe actually finish it sometime. So that's that. I'm gonna grab what I was missing. One moment. Okay, so that was longer than expected, and yeah, then my husband started to talk to me. So we will splice that together. He will splice it together. All right. One thing that I started after I said I wasn't going to start anything else in 2020 was the freebie Chelsea's Chicken from from Stitching with the Housewives. So that was on Priscilla's blog, and I actually got pretty far. Not that far. Now my chicken and my snowman are closer together than they're supposed to be, just because I miscounted. So I had all the called for fancy floss except for the browns, and so I substituted the DMCs, but then I reversed the DMCs. So the trail dust, oh, I don't have the one thing. Oh yeah, I do. Oh, that's why. So I actually used 3864 on the hat, and then I used 841 on the arms. It kind of reduced. I had actually pulled the wrong brown, or it was probably the closest to brown that I had. But yeah, so that's the only change I made, was I used the DMCs. Kind of changed it slightly for the brown. So that was my last start. I don't really count the peppermint purple as a start for 2020, because it's more of it was a New Year's Eve start because of it being a year-long 2021 thing. So that was my last start for 2020. Also on, yeah, New Year's Eve I finished it. This is one thing that I forgot to show you that I got for Christmas, was ignore the cat hair or dog hair. I got this bag from Evertote. Came with this Notions bag. So Carolyn off the grid, she lives in London, and so I ordered it from her. So that houses Anne Morrison. Her bags are very well made, very cushiony. So I did finish the top of the first section of Anne Morrison, so the December section, and then yesterday I started the second section. So this is the second section down here for January. So got to start on that. So it's a pretty easy stitch, and yeah. So one of my prizes for my WIPGO board is another Evertote bag. That's what I've allotted for myself. Okay, so on that note, let's go to WIPGO. So the numbers that were called were 6 and 18. So that's Pandemic for me for 1,000 Stitches, and then Rack Stack to finish. So Rack Stack by Plum Street. And I got pretty far, actually. So I got this deer done those berries done. Got a little bit more of the body of that deer done. Oh, this needle minder up here is one that I made just from a charm bracelet that I found at Value Village. Yeah, so on the picture you can see the deer at the very top. So you can see it's darker brown at the top of the deer and then lighter through the body. So that's definitely intentional with how the thread fell. For the variegated floss, I wasn't that fancy, so my deer's a little bit more stripy. But from afar, he looks fine. You know, he's just shedding a little bit, so it's fine. But yeah, if you want your deer to look like that in the picture, just make sure that you're being more thoughtful, deliberate, I guess, in where you're starting the, I think I already pulled it out, the brown, it's the brown sugar by Classic Colorworks, that where you're starting the portion of the variation in the floss to make that happen. So that is, so I need to finish for that by the end of January. It may be doable. I might be okay with that because I got a lot done there. Basically a day's worth of stitching. Yeah, I worked on it a lot on the first. Okay, so next is Pandemic, and this is for 1,000 stitches on WhipGo. And I also got pretty good progress on that. So I got some more of the bottom portion of that flower done and some more of the blue in there, so you can see that bird outlined and the tip or the top of the antlers of the deer that's going to be outlined in the blue. And then you can tell that little blue, the bird on the flower there. I changed him out from the lighter blue to the more the dusty blue. So I want to say I got just over around 600 stitches done on that. And so for my WhipGo board, the goal is 1,000. So I think I can easily get another 400 stitches in on that one before the end of the month. That's good. All right, so that's WhipGo well underway. Obviously this was a different week because I was home more because of the holiday. So not every month I'm going to be this far ahead on my WhipGo right off the bat. All right, and then I have for, did I bring up my acrostic, 24 hours acrostics, 24 hours acrostics, cross stitch acrostics. I had filled out what I wanted for each of those, and then I put it onto a wheel. Rack stack was on there. Yes, temperature's on there. It hasn't been spun yet, but llama lump was also on there, so that was spun last night. So I just spin it whenever I need an idea of something to work on. And so I worked on it a little bit while we were watching Grey's Anatomy. And then we started watching This Is Us as well. So getting caught up on all those shows. So what did I do here? It's a lot more detailed than you'd think. This is on 18 count Fortnite fabric. My rack stack is on 14. So it's going to be considerably bigger. It's okay. It doesn't not a big deal. I don't think they're gonna be displayed together. But yeah, would I have liked them to be on the same counter? Yeah, but it is what it is. But I just continue to pick whatever fabric I think works with each design, then that's fine. So what did I do? I finished the face in this guy, started this guy, finished this guy. Yeah. But this one's really, really detailed. There's a lot of different colors and yeah, very detailed. I really want the Abominable Snowman from Linen and Threads, but so I emailed Karen, or I emailed them, and Karen had responded, and then it was, I guess, late at night there. She didn't get back to me the next day, but that was a few days ago. Maybe I'll try sending her another email. I don't like to be a bother, but it's an exclusive from them, and I just don't want to get just the pattern and pay the shipping from Australia. So if they have the floss, I'd like to get that too. All right, next is Shimmer from Carolyn Manning. Okay. This is the pattern. So this is my venture into kreinik. I did get a shipping notification that one of my back ordered kreiniks is available. So I have some more floss to be picked up too that was back ordered from Stitch It Central. So I think I'll send my husband tomorrow to pick that up curbside from them tomorrow. So I basically just had this tree done and a part of this snowflake. So I got this one done, all these little ones done. So hard. There you can kind of see the variation in that kreinik. I think that one's called Pink Confetti. When you look at it, you're like, it's not very pink, but then when you, I don't know what's happening downstairs, they're screaming, I'm sorry. But when you stitch it, you can see the pink coming through. And then, yeah, I guess this is the last piece I worked on. So, as I mentioned before, I'm in a Pen Pal, Cross Stitch Pen Pal group on Facebook. And so I don't really want to show the whole thing, so I'll show this portion of it. I am working on the snowflake in the hot cocoa cup for this month, so for January. Yeah, I should get it done, so then it's finished, and then I'll pop it in the mail. Still waiting on my pen pal gift to arrive. Again, I know it's not my pen pal's fault. She's followed up on it with me saying, hey, have you got it yet? I know she mailed it, it's just the mail, right? I know she got the one that I sent, which is great. So once I get hers, I'll be more quickly to get this into the mail. And also it's giving the post office time to catch up to. Because we've been working a little bit ahead just so we have time. So next month's theme has been announced, which I think is hearts and arrows. So I should think about what I'm going to do that. But for the cup, she mentioned she likes green tea. So I've changed the cup into, I kind of added, there's going to be like a little tag for tea. So instead of saying hot cocoa, I might try to put like green on here and then tea on the tea. I don't know. But just kind of made that. I'm going to make it into a tea tag instead of a hot cocoa cup. And also for these, what I'm trying to do is stitch on anything that I already have, you know, things like that. Because they're supposed to be little things. So I think that's it. So I think that's all I stitched on. Yeah, I don't know. This might go up a little bit later than the afternoon, just because I need my husband to splice it together for me. And then they're playing video games downstairs, apparently very loud. So again, splice it together, then upload when it uploads. My kitten got stuck underneath my son's dresser 2 nights ago, I guess, in the middle of the night, because my son ends up in our bed in the middle of the night at some point. And so when I got up in the morning, I could hear him kind of meowing. And then I went into my son's room and all the drawers were pulled out. So I think he got under and then from behind was trying to push the drawers out to try to get out. That's what I think happened. But his drawers don't come out at all on his dresser. It's just a solid dresser. So luckily my husband was still home and he could lift up the dresser to get him out. Silly cat. So that was the excitement and trouble he got into this week. But yeah, so I don't know what the prompts are for Enchanted Stitches yet for this upcoming week, but I'll be looking into that. Yeah, so this looks like a little bit of a longer video. We'll cut a little bit out when we splice it. But yeah, I hope everyone's 2021 is off to a good start. I have started a few different running challenges just to try to motivate myself a little bit more, and doing like a 1K a day during our second lockdown that we're currently in, so keeping that up. And then our running group starts up again this week, so we won't be able to meet in person right off the bat just because of the lockdown, but training schedules will be sent out and things like that. So I'm hoping to get my butt back in gear for all that. And yeah, all right, so that's all my plans that I have for the upcoming week. So very loose plans, but we'll talk to you again then. Bye.